Depression is not real. Depression is not this permanent thing that is taking place in your life. Depression is something that you've actually cultivated. It's an internal state that you cultivated through your thoughts and through your actions. And we have to recognize this. If you listen to mainstream media or your local doctor, they're going to tell you to take these pills and it'll help you with depression. The depression that you've created. You created this depressed state, this low vibrational internal state, because you are not doing something you know you should do in your life, or you're doing something habitually that's causing you harm, and you're thinking in a way that's leading you to feel depressed. You're thinking like a victim. You're thinking in terms of negativity, right? Why is this happening to me? Why is he behaving this way? Oh, I will never change, right? Your thoughts are leading you to feeling hopeless, and your actions are reinforcing those thoughts. That's what depression is. There's a very small percentage of the population that actually has an imbalance in their brain chemistry, and their neurotransmitters aren't firing properly. They don't have the right production of certain neurotransmitters, so they're experiencing this low state often. This low vibrational, low emotional state consistently. Those individuals still can change, and you can change. If you're someone who has ever said, I'm depressed, and you label yourself, first of all, you have to recognize that in itself is going to cause you harm. Don't ever label yourself with a negative word. We are constantly changing throughout every day, throughout every week, throughout every year. And for the remainder of your life, you're going to go through these changes, okay? There's times in our lives where we feel the best we've ever felt in that moment. And then a couple weeks later, we feel low and we feel almost as bad as we've ever felt, right? There's times in your life where you can have everything going your way. You can have the family, the money, the success, and you have a moment where you don't feel the gratitude for those things. You have a moment where you don't see the good in your life. You can't feel it. You might be able to see it with your eyes, but you don't feel it with your heart. Then there's going to be moments in your life where you don't have a lot. Maybe you're in jail like I was, and you find peace inside your heart, and you're like, why am I able to feel this way? Right? There's going to be times where you don't have a lot going on, but just in the midst of that day or that week or that moment of life, you're going to feel good. You're going to feel great. You're going to feel hopeful. You're going to feel optimistic. You're going to feel happy. So you have to recognize our emotional state is constantly changing. And to sit there and say, I'm depressed, and the way that people say that, they're saying it like it's final, like it's definite, like it can't change. Like you're stuck there, you're depressed, and there's nothing you can do. You could be depressed this morning when you wake up, and you could go to sleep feeling inspired and happy and on fire, okay? But here's the thing. People hear this growing up. They hear this word depression. They see it on TV. They hear doctors talk about it. And so they act like it's this thing that when you get it, you're stuck that way. You're paralyzed. There's nothing you can do. I will never think that way. I was put in a jail cell. I had nothing going for me, and I found a way to create happiness. That taught me that these limiting beliefs and these ideologies that are pushed on us from a young age are false. None of that stuff that you hear growing up about anxiety, depression, these are all weak-minded people just spewing nonsense onto other weak-minded people. And when I say that, just know that you can become a strong-minded person. You might be weak-minded right now, but in a year from now, you can become very strong here, okay? Here and here, right? But you have to work hard to become a strong-minded person. Here's the thing. People who are depressed or anxious, typically, they don't do anything to strengthen their mental state, okay? They just accept that label and they just think this is the way it's gonna be. Like, hopefully one day I'll feel better. Hopefully tomorrow when I wake up, I won't be depressed. Hopefully I don't get anxiety when I go out. Hopefully I don't get anxiety at the end of the month when I'm looking for finances to pay my bills. Hopefully. So you're just going to sit here and hope that you feel better, but not do anything differently to create a better internal state. Here's the thing. Every day of your life, you need to wake up and search and create happiness. You have to search, seek out, and cultivate happiness within, okay? Being happy is a responsibility. Being happy is a responsibility because the way that you feel affects everyone around you. I will never allow myself to be depressed, to be a drug addict, to be a loser, because I have children who depend on me. I have a wife who depends on me. I have people who I coach and work with who depend on me. So my emotional state is a responsibility. Like, I'm in control of it and I'm responsible for how I feel, because that's going to affect how I treat them. That's going to affect my demeanor, my attitude. Am I paying attention? Am I showing love? And am I exciting them when I walk into a room? And am I bringing good energy? Or am I bringing low vibrational energy, negative energy, pessimism? Am I that type of person that they don't even want to be around? Imagine having kids and their thought was, man, dad's a jerk. I wish he wasn't even here. Or a lot of you guys and, a lot of people in life have wives who think the same thing. Man, I wish I didn't marry him. Like, what a horrible thing to transpire because we don't have control over our emotional state, right? So people who have successful lives, they learn to control their emotions. People who don't have successful lives, right? We'll call them the losers. We'll call them the people that don't figure it out. Whatever you want to label them. They're just individuals that haven't been able to control their emotional state. And so as parents, as adults, as people who recognize that others depend on them, as leaders, as coaches, whatever it is that you identify with, it's a responsibility for you to have good energy, to be optimistic, to be positive, to be inspiring. And I'm not saying that every day of your life is going to be perfect. And I'm not saying that you should fake it. You should never fake it, right? Because when you fake it, it actually prevents you from finding a pathway to cultivate that energy within that we all want to experience. When you fake it, you stay stuck. So if you're depressed and you're trying to fake like you're happy, you're actually keeping yourself stuck in that negative emotional state, right? Do you follow? So you have to identify and find ways to elevate yourself on a daily basis. The first thing is recognizing that whatever you believe and tell yourself is true. So if you say I'm depressed, then you will be. If you say that I'm feeling like shit today, but I'm going to do something to elevate, that's a much different and more positive way to talk to yourself. If you say, oh, I'm feeling a little nervous about going to this new job, right? I don't know anyone there, but I'm going to do my best. I'm going to focus on just hard work and good attitude every day. Versus the guy that says, oh, I have so much anxiety about this job. I'm anxious. I'm just an anxious person. Like, you're labeling yourself. So many people say, I have anxiety and I'm depressed. And you have those things because you believe in those labels. Those are just emotions that come and go. Learn to embrace them, analyze them, get attuned, understand yourself, self-reflect more, journal, like sit in solitude and ask yourself, why was I anxious in that moment? What was the feeling I was having? What transpired before that chain of events that got me feeling that way? Was there something in the past that, happened that embarrassed me or triggered me in some type of way? So maybe this event was similar to that and that's why I was feeling that way. And then you'll understand you're not anxious. You just were nervous because last time you went to a new job, the boss was a dick and he talked shit to you in front of everyone. You didn't like it. Whatever the case may be, that's one example. But I hope you're following here. Like, I don't like to see adults being victims and making excuses for not taking care of themselves, for not doing what they need to do to cultivate that feeling inside that they want to experience. Right? You guys have to understand that you're so powerful and you're so capable. But when you sit there and say, I'm depressed and, I'm stressed out and I'm anxious, and then you just act like that's the end, like there's nothing after that, then you're just being victims. And a lot of times it's just a lack of understanding. It's a lack of knowledge. It's a lack of perception. You don't realize that you could do something right now and tomorrow and the next day and the next day to shift your energy, right? That's why I get up early and work out, because when I do that, I elevate myself into a place where I'm positive, I'm motivated, I feel good, I just crushed a workout. I'm going into life with that energy. And then all throughout the day, I'm doing things that make me feel good about myself. So at the end of the day, I'm proud of who I am. I'm proud of the way I lived. I reflect on everything, my attitude, my demeanor, how I talk to people. Did I do my checklist? Did I keep those promises to myself? Was I a good husband? Was I a good dad? Did I show my family attention and affection? Like, I run through that checklist internally and I'm checking those boxes, and I know, damn, I'm being the best man that I could be right now. And so over time, if you perpetually do that, you're going to feel better about yourself. You're going to have more inner peace, more positive energy, more optimism. Your thoughts are going to be better. Your energy with other people and your interactions and your relationships are going to flourish because of this. But if you're one of those people that lets labels define you and then you just act like you have no control, no recourse, and you keep yourself stuck because you don't change your actions, then shame on you. You're not recognizing the responsibility you have for the people in your lives, and you're doing them all a disservice because you are lacking personal development, you're lacking action, and you're going to suffer until you figure this out. You are going to suffer, and everyone around you is going to suffer until you find it within yourself to make a change, to take responsibility for your emotional state and cultivate the energy inside of you that you want to exist in. It's within your ability. You have the power, you have the control. Time to take it back and put it into action.